Hey guys, if you spend time in the countryside in Japan during summer, you are likely to see this scene. So we have a variety of onions hanging up here in the shade. So after they're harvested, they have to be hung up to sort of dry out, but not too much. That's why they're hung up in the shade. So I want flow through ventilation, but not direct sun. So what you often see is this scene is really common. People hang them up next to their washing on the clothesline. Sort of interesting, that, isn't it? Two rows of washing and then one row of onions. But that's really common out in the countryside. You'll see it all the time. So some of these people whose houses we're looking at here will grow their own onions, and it's their onions that are hanging up. But often too, they've just been given them by somebody else. So in this case, it's a small house in amongst a whole heap of other small houses, so it's more likely they've been given these. And that happens a lot when we live in the country. As different people's crops are harvested, they tend to give them out to people. So you tend to get given, onions when it's onion time, and mikan when it's mikan time, and daikon, pickles, radishes when it's radish time, and all the different things as they come into season. So this is what will often happen too when onions are being harvested. Usually lots of people are harvesting onions, so all of a sudden there's onions everywhere, and you'll have one neighbour give you a bag of onions, and then you'll talk to someone else and they'll say, oh, just a moment, and they'll run away and come back and give you a bag of onions. And usually it's whatever the thing is that's being harvested will suddenly become really plentiful, and you'll be getting them from every direction. So it's really nice, of course. Everybody's doing that. Everybody that's harvesting veggies are spreading them around, veggies and fruit. And then it comes around there, of course. So then there's people that are growing other things. When they're being harvested, they spread them around as well. Looks like everybody's trying to ward off vampires or something, doesn't it? But of course we know that's garlic, don't we, that fends off vampires. But all these onions hanging outside everybody's houses. This is actually a fishing village as well, and often these guys go catching octopus and squid, and we actually showed you years ago on another video where they hang up the onions. Quite often they'll also hang up octopus and squid when they've been catching them, and they hang them up over the same line to dry out in the open like that. So definitely wonderful spending time in the country in Japan. That's why we always recommend it. Get out of the city, get out of Shibuya and all those other places in Tokyo, and get out and see some real Japan, because that's where it's happening. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.